Hello, and welcome to the world premiere of FATALity, the podcast where four terrible gents discuss a new terrible tabletop game every week. Tonight, we're joined by Mikio.
Hello, this is Mikio, gentleman shitposter, roguelike connoisseur extraordinaire, and master of senseless connections.
John Don, who is dead, and Dick Poop.
Hey guys, I'm a forever GM.
And myself,
this is sad.
Mr. Bones, the most powerful man in the universe.
We're just glowing with charisma.
Tonight, this is our episode 0, essentially. You can think of it like that. Because what we're doing is we're not really discussing a particular game tonight. Instead, we're getting a feel for each other, we're getting our dicks out, we're stroking them in unison, that kind of thing. So, first of all, I want everyone to go around the table and tell us about your favorite RPG. Mikio, do you have a particular tabletop game that has a special place in your heart?
Oh, alright, well, I have a very large collection of RPGs. Not physically, because the only physical game I have is 5th edition. But I have a solid 13 gigabytes of PDFs of only RPGs. It's a bit of a collection of mine, so choosing one I like more than the others is not an easy task. But since you're asking the question, I would have to go with one that I haven't actually played yet, but I just absolutely love how it works, and that would be Torchbearer. Simple reason for that is, first up, I love the setting, which is sort of, basically it's D&D, but every single thing in nature is extremely large, extremely pissed off, and only has one single goal: the genocide of the entire human race. What is it, John Don?
We're just introducing ourselves. We're not shelling our favorite RPG.
That's literally what we're doing, John Don. You're insane.
Yeah, that was the
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Fantastic. All right, so we've got Torchbearer that's been laid proudly on the table. Dick
Yes.
Poop, do you have something you're going to shill? You're
Sure.
going to shill to us?
I might catch shit for this because it's actually not that uncommon of an RPG, but
Controversy.
I'd have to say my favorite.
If you say 4th
is
edition,
Only
I'm gonna
War
punch you.
from Fantasy Flight Games. It's currently out of production, but I really like the Warhammer 40,000 setting, especially for certain role-playing games, and I like how squishy the PCs feel in Only War.
Even after several levels?
They're still entirely killable to low-level enemies. Also, there's no leveling system.
Oh.
It's sort of like the
Bit of a meat grinder kind of guy. Likes to grind his meat.
the PCs play as Imperial Guardsmen, and they will die.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Bones. Hey, Bonesy, can you, not shitpost?
Nope. That's my role. That's my job. That's my chief position in this podcast.
Okay, I'm
Also,
meeting you.
he has the best microphone, so he gets to call the shots.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to tell you guys about a little... This podcast...
Hey, you didn't let me introduce myself.
This podcast was brought to you by John Don. John Don, what have you got for us?
I like Traveler because of the character generation. It lets me roll dice instead of being creative.
Oh, so
He's got it worked out.
I haven't played that, but with a description like that, gotta say, it sounds pretty goddamn snazzy.
Okay, I'm meeting you.
Can't you actually die in Traveler during character creation?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
that was true to the point. That's
that's the second game where you can die during character creation, I think.
It's really convenient if you don't want me to play in your game.
Which nobody does.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the other one being, if I remember, it's AD&D if you use the Psionics handbooks.
Yeah, you're correct
Well,
there.
if you're using the Sonic's handbook, you're already asking for death. Basically.
That's also true. Either the death of you or the heat death of the universe, because it just slows down combat to an insane level.
Exactly. All right, boys. Now, I'm going to tell you about my favorite RPG. And it's a bit of a hidden gem. I don't think any of you guys are going to have heard of it. It's got quite obscure combat mechanics. The publisher's not really done a lot of stuff.
All right, if you say 4th edition, I will clock you.
It's called
Can you not
D&D
interrupt
5e.
them?
So,
Oh, well, I quite like
D&D
5e.
fifth edition, it's one of the deepest games I've ever played. Everything, it's been customized from the ground up to give you a lot of room to really make your character your own. There's nothing generic going on. There's no standardization. It's probably just the best board game ever made. I'm just putting that out there.
You just called it a board game.
Yeah, it is a board game
Fuck.
because it makes me fucking bored. All right.
To be fair, though, I really like 5e. It's extremely easy to homebrew stuff for 5e, and that's one thing that I really like in an RPG.
I think the problem with 5e is that 4e took D&D in a more casual, rules light kind of direction. And
I say it took it more in the garbage bin than a rules-like direction, but
well, some people conflate that. Others would say, they're trying to make it more accessible, cut down on some of the bloat.
oh yeah, by making it a
let's be
fucking
frank.
MMORPG.
Let's be
In
frank.
terms of bloat, I'm still playing 3.5 in Pathfinder, so...
Yeah, exactly. Look, 3.5 Pathfinder, say what you like about whether they're good games, whether they're fun games. They're not. But 3.5 and Pathfinder are bloated as fuck.
As long as you don't play with power gamers, it's fine. Just the moment you play with someone that knows what they're doing is when there's a problem with 3.5 and Pathfinder.
Oh no, definitely
that leads to a
play
deeper
these games
argument
with people who
about
do not know the rules.
the problem with not knowing the rules. That's kind of always a problem. You can't really say that about specifically 3.5 or Pathfinder. Any game where you're playing with people who don't know the rules, the game's going to be slowed down. People aren't going to be having fun. The DM's not going to be having fun because they're pulling weight for players who don't know what they're doing.
At anything other than low levels, I agree with you. Playing Pathfinder at low levels
I wholeheartedly
with people who
agree
don't know
with
the
that
rules
sentiment.
that well isn't that slow.
What was that, John?
No.
I wholeheartedly agree with your sentiment, Bones.
Thank you, John Dunn. You see, John Dunn, man of taste, knows exactly what he's talking about.
He's a man of taste.
That's fair.
I wouldn't call myself that, but thank you.
Let's not go that far. You two, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. You're going completely on the wrong tangent. Because what we really need to be discussing isn't about power gamers. It's about people who gimp their own character for the sake of improved roleplay. Can you believe that shit? People do that? Crazy.
Well, I did once play a character in Pathfinder that had a stunningly large 4 intelligence.
Ooh. Isn't that clinically retarded?
No, I think... Well, maybe it was 5, but I think 3 is the intelligence of an animal, so it's kind of close. Basically, I played him like the dumbest barbarian ever, but he was a cavalier. And he wasn't a Gaji, so it kind of makes sense, Snakes aren't very smart. Yes, you could. You can talk with that much intelligence.
That leads to another little interesting tangent that we're going to fucking barrel down at full speed, which is the character's intelligence versus the player's intelligence. At what point do the two need to be forcibly priced apart? If you're playing a 4-int character, are you going to have to then get into character every single time you act as that character? Do you make tactical decisions as if you had 4-int? As if you were a John Donne tier intellect?
Well, that's a very loaded question overall, but personally, when it comes
Not at all.
Yeah, but when it comes to playing low intelligence, there's a way to do it, and then there's the way to do it. Because, you see, I'm talking out of my ass.
Sense.
Yeah, I know, that's the point. You see, I'm role-playing low intelligence. But the problem is that you need to play a low intelligence character, you not only need to know what intelligence means as a stat, but also know what the fuck wisdom is. Because wisdom will heavily influence how you play someone with low intelligence. Because wisdom is a lot of things. It's willpower, it's mental strength, and it's experience. So even if your character is as dumb as a fucking brick, he still has enough wisdom to not be suicidal or just, do the stupidest things like jump into the mouth of a tyrannid. But what do you guys think?
I want to kind of talk about the other side of the coin, having a player in the current campaign I'm running who doesn't know a whole lot about the setting that we're playing the game in, but his character is somebody who would have a lot of information about the setting. And as a GM, you have to do a lot to make that character still make sense, even though the player might not know the intricacies
even
of
though
what
the player
his
is a
character
dumbass.
doing.
I feel there's yet another fractally nested tangent we could go off on there, which is characters that require an undue amount of the GM's attention to be reasonable. You know, characters who are supposed to be knowledgeable in the lore, knowledgeable in a certain in-world, they got that kind of intelligence that comes from knowing a lot because of their experiences. And the question is it reasonable to assume that the GM is going to spend all that much time with your character? And the answer is no, you should never do it. If you do it at all, you're Hitler and you're gay and you deserve to die. That's my position.
It depends if the story's worth it.
If the player himself is actually someone that's competent in role-playing and being interesting and fun,
doesn't exist.
Then, yes, it exists because I know the fucking guy.
Nah.
Yes, I know him. Clearly, you have not met Uncle Shark, but that's another story.
Clearly, I haven't met my good friend John, though. Who's the best role player of all time?
We haven't even played together. How could you come to such a conclusion?
I can see it in your eyes.
Well, everybody knows that John Don is role-playing not being dead. Inside, at least.
Aren't we all? Alright,
I'm just trying really hard to focus on this conversation right now.
Fight through the pain, Jonathan.
Slightly.
So, Mickey, tell us a little bit more about your player, your excellent player.
Alright.
I think you had a point there.
So, you might actually meet this guy later on, because he's the expert for one of the future RPGs we're going to tear into, let's say. And he basically has a habit of just taking the most insane ideas for a character and just making it work. Now, I don't exactly recall every single character he did, but every single one of them is interesting. And I feel like these kind of characters should be better off explained by him. But here's an example of one that's actually pretty goddamn good, which is Uncle Shark. Now, Uncle Shark was a druid. And if I recall, he was lawful evil or something like that. Or not chaotic evil, that's for certain. But basically, he was a druid that was almost permanently shape-shifted into a half-shark person, which gave him the name Uncle Shark.
Of course.
And this guy he was basically a mob boss, but he was a druid. For example, he once grew an entire forest, and like 3 druids came in saying like, hey, this is our ancestral place. This is our forest now. And what Uncle Shark did was he used his insane amount of fucking gold and cash to just buy mercenaries to go and kill the druids, like fucking woodcutters and all that stuff, to just go and kill them instead of dealing with the problem directly. He had an insane amount of gold, like 3,500 or even more than that. I think I'm lowballing it.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, because also that was a game where the DM was a piece of shit and just was horrible at everything. And
it
no.
Sounds like an aimless sandbox.
No, it was not a sandbox from what I've gathered, but it was just fucking stupid. For example, actually, here's one about his character, a well-known stories he tells to many people, which is why I know it, because he told me it at least 3 times on different occasions. You see, he was playing a female kobold. I think it was a rogue.
Oh, no.
Yes. It was in Pathfinder, I recall, and if I recall correctly, she was a dragonrot kobold and had a shape-shifting ability or something like that, which give her like plus 10, 20 to stealth. So it was absolutely insane. And the DM hated that character to the guts. But everybody else was fucking broken. But somehow he picked on her.
I mean, female kobold. That's
Yes.
a bold choice.
Go die.
You guys are just too much.
And so they were inside of a dungeon, and because she was a rogue, obviously she split from the party. Once again, never fucking split the party. And she came across a big fountain filled with a blood-like substance. And the DM made her roll a willpower check to not drink from it. Already that it's a bit weird, but basically she failed it because he had put like an insane DC on it. And she was just drinking gallons of it. Like, I think the DM said she was drinking like 2 liters of the damn stuff.
This is
before she
getting
was
kinda into fetish territory, I feel.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Nope.
Actually, it gets worse. It gets
Oh
much,
no!
much worse. Now, this water apparently contained a demon. A daemon. You know, the prickly shit. Or was it a devil? I think it was a demon. And it caused her to become pregnant with the demon. Yeah.
No, dear. Oh no. All right.
Yeah.
This is
So-
all bad.
It's all over.
Yeah, so because kobolds are dragon lizards, or at least lizards anyway, she had a great big egg inside of her, not a stomach, but you know what I mean. I don't fucking know shit about
Kobold
anatomy.
parts. Let's
Yes.
quickly continue.
The bolden part. And so Uncle Shark, being a druid and having skills in medicine, decided to go ahead and operate on her to remove it, because it was a demon and it could very well influence the character or something like that. So, medicine check, no anesthesia, he rolls a fucking 1. Already great fucking place.
Blood everywhere.
Oh yes, absolute disaster. The cleric is just laying on hands as a form of anesthetic, because now the character is just going in shock. She's dead. Rolls one of the death saving throws, manages to do it. Then Uncle Shark rolls for medicine again to stabilize her. Guess what he rolled?
Not
Oh, one.
fucking funny.
Mean number.
He rolled a fucking 1. Yes, the mean number. And so that's an instant fucking death, because if I recall, that's how the rules work. And
Jesus.
they die, but they do manage to extract the egg. Now,
I got
Uncle
some
Shark.
axe to grind about fucking
Yes.
D20 systems, but go on.
Yes. Now, Uncle Shark was not done. He was not done
Oh no.
druiding. The druid was not done druiding, and he used one of the most bastard level resurrection spells there is in Pathfinder, which is reincarnation. Now, foregoing the rules of reincarnation, because the DM wants, once again, a shit, they reincarnated her inside the egg, which I guess exorcised the demon or something. Yes, it was weird. And so, they then used another spell, I can't recall which, to increase the age until she was like 11, 12, 17, 16.
Well,
some
thank God
kind
for
of age
that,
around
or it
that.
would have been weird.
Yes. But you see, there was a bit of a problem with that. Inside the egg was not a she. It was a male kobold. So now, we had a... So yeah, now you had the reincarnated rogue, which had lost its color-changing powers, severely removing her stealth advantage. Also, she had a permanent lisp from being grown so fucking fast, and also had a bit of a gender problem due to just not being a chick anymore. And then the character sort of became a silent, brooding, kind of depressed character because, well, frankly, I don't think anybody could go through that and not have some major mental problems, much less a fucking kobold with the willpower of a frog.
Yeah, I've had some sessions like that. I've
Yes.
ended up in a very similar mental space, I think. Oh dear. So, do you have any inkling that there's some fetish shit going into it?
Yeah, that sounds
maybe.
like your DM had some fantasy realm stuff going on.
It's possible, but I think he was just trying to kill her in a way that didn't just seem like Rock's fault, everyone dies, but he was just bad at it.
But yeah, the fucking roll one, you instantly fail. Everything blows up. You're dead. Whatever you're trying,
here we
it's
go again.
reversed. You just the universe conspires to fuck you in the ass.
Well, to be fair, apparently she was already injured from a previous combat, and a critical one on a medicine check is not good usually. But yeah, the DM was absolute shit, and yeah, he did do absolutely insane shit when somebody rolled a 20, because, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the other side of the D20 meme roll coin.
Yeah,
you roll a 20, you do something crazy, you make everything happen. It's a diplomacy
I'm not
roll.
a fan of.
Your diplomacy turns into mind control or some gay shit like that. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I have to say it's really not good when the DM can't play that well or play a D20 system well, because a 1 and a 20, the critical success and critical failure have to be within the realm of possibility, otherwise you break the believability of the setting.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, I feel like there is many more stories with that DM.
Because they're garbage.
Yeah, there's many more stories with that DM, but I feel like this is better for when we get the guest speaker there, because he's way more charismatic when telling stories that happened to him.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that's a little tidbit to tantalize our listeners with, if we have any listeners. Dear God, this has been an
probably.
Why are we here? Why are we doing this? We're crazy.
I'm gonna say we're gonna get a big maximum of 10 views on this video.
This wasn't my idea.
What's the running time so far?
None of those views are going to be from John Dunn watching it over and over.
My current running time is 22 minutes.
I'm probably not gonna watch this when you release that.
I'm just gonna watch this podcast on repeat and just jack off to my sweet voice.
Me too. We'll do that in unison.
Yes, everybody jacks off to my sweet voice.
Hey, Bones in the future, do that thing you're not doing right now. Looking out for you, buddy. All right. Well, I think
Well, I feel like we should also talk about, since this is episode 0, we could introduce what the podcast is about.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be a valuable idea.
The list of expectations would not.
So
be a bad idea.
Fatality came together because one day, I think Mikio was it?
Yeah,
Mikio,
basically I watched way too much Let Me Tell You About, and I wanted to make a podcast because I like podcasts. And so, since you can't do a podcast yourself without being a massive fucking douche, or just calling it a vlog,
Mickey turned into a planeswalker, he went onto a spiritual journey, and he found the 3 most charismatic men in all the lands. And that was myself, John Dunn, and of course, Dick Poop. And so here we are today.
By planes he mean the fucking TG channel of Discord, which is prime material.
Oh, I'm ready
to people from there listen to this? They hate us already. Oh god. But we can get to the shilling later, surely.
Yeah, just wait until episode 666.
So, this is a bit of a freeform, scattershot kind of a podcast. So, are there any little niggling issues about board games or tabletop games or so on and so? I'm just going to say board games because it's faster and I hate myself.
You could just say RPGs. It's fucking faster, mate.
Nah, I don't believe
it.
People think of the video games. That's the issue.
What about when the GM rejects my homebrew monster girl class?
You kill him. You kill him on the spot.
What
if you can't understand your creativity, then...
Alright, but...
What if they're like all the way over in Europe or something?
But yeah, Fatality is a podcast about a bunch of assholes basically trashing an RPG made by people other than them. for the simple reason of it's fun, and the people that did it clearly did not have a sense of humor.
Also,
The
we
reason we're
have no
doing an
life.
episode 0 isn't because none of us did any research into a system. So
Yes,
we can
because we're lazy
episode
shits.
1.
This
That's
is
not what
basically
happened.
this is basically just noise, boys. Eh.
It also isn't that none of us have really talked before, except maybe me and John Don, so we don't know each other.
Well, I do think I've talked to you before, Mr. Bones and John Don, but not that much.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not on the boys' channel ever.
Shitposting in text is it's a different affair to actual voice combat.
Yeah. However, I do believe I have something for episode 0 which ties into the concept of it. Because
Well,
you
walk
see,
it out, put it on the table for us.
yes, you see, this comes with a story which I can relate to. You see, back a couple of years ago, I DM'd 5th edition D&D on Roll20. Already, this is a bad fucking idea. But there was this guy that always plays the character called Ezreal. And this motherfucker was the biggest power gamer ever. Personally, I didn't think you could break 5e as much as you could 3.5 in Pathfinder. Clearly, I was wrong. Because this guy, every single character he made was always a mix of like the rogue, the fighter, and the warlock. Or at least the rogue and the warlock. And just did insane fucking shit with hacks and backstabbing and spells, and it was absolutely stupid. Just to give an example, at level 3, this motherfucker managed to beat a hag and an owlbear by himself.
Huh.
Yeah, and this motherfucker, he made a homebrew class and tried to make me use it.
Go on, dude. What kind of sick hacks was this guy using? You got to give us a little more flavor than what you be. You need to paint us a picture.
Alright, well, first up, he never roleplayed. He never made another... When his character died, he never made a new one. He just made the previous one, but he was the fucking same, which I absolutely goddamn hate. I'm looking at you, Pro Jared. And
Just say
he
your
caused...
grievances with YouTubers, man. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just let it out.
Yeah, also, he caused a TPK once by killing the entire party because his demon god told him so.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And yeah, I just posted what his class is, the Demon Hunter.
Alright, let's take a little look at this. So,
I think
Yes.
that link's broken. Oh no.
no, it's the issue is it doesn't include the...
Yep.
Bracket.
I figured it out.
Oh, the bracket has not been included due to stupidity.
Let's do a
What is it?
little read-through for the sake of our viewers.
Yes. Well, basically, just demon hunters are rogues and fighters that have entered a pact with an angel or devil to exterminate demons.
They
Yes.
prefer close combat and will use their weapons and spells to do maximum harm. Their tenacity in combat, with the effective
don't
use
need
of
to be
finesse
that
and magic,
dramatic.
makes them very deadly.
I think it helps.
People
Yes.
are here. No, they're not here for you. They're here for me. They're here for...
This feels like a class that's just trying to combine all of the combat classes and be
Yes.
terrible.
Well, actually, you haven't seen how it works mechanically. Also, one thing we should probably say, if ever we divulge into absolute retardation with no relatability to the actual subject at hand, Mr. Bones will use his secret technique. Yes! The trumpet of mankind.
A classic.
Ah, got him. Got him.
Yes.
Oh my
So,
God.
I'm going to skip a bunch of the flavor text because, frankly, he doesn't care about it, and neither do I. I just hope he's currently... I hope he will one day watch this podcast, and if you do, fuck you, dude. All right.
Fuck you.
So here's the
Fuck
deal.
you.
Here's hit dice 1d10. All right? That's kind of...
Interesting.
I think the fighter has 1d10, right?
Mm-hmm. So he's
Yes.
the most powerful man already.
Yeah, so he's proficient in light and meteor armor as well as shields, trained in simple and martial weapons, no tools, saving throws, dex, and charisma. So far, just looks like a more dexterous fighter. So, Gonna skip the equipment because nobody gives a fuck about that.
Correct.
There's a siren outside my house.
Oh no.
Luckily, there is a button to mute, which has been used. Now, here's where it gets a bit interesting. Now, the fighter can cast spells due to the Eldritch Knight subclass. However, this duder can just... His first thing, he can already do pact magic right from the get-go. So, if I recall, he starts with 2 cantrips and 2 first-level spell slots for his first level. Now, what does...
cantrips there?
Yeah. Yeah, but the table says otherwise, so already inconsistent.
Okay.
Inconsistencies.
Officially made, yeah.
Yeah. Then again, this is D&D Winky. What the fuck you expect? This is the bare level. So,
I've seen some shit.
alright. So to use Charisma as the spellcasting ability, so basically same thing as the Warlock.
Yeah.
Now, here's when we get to the special abilities that you get. Fiendish Foreseeing. When you sleep, you dream of fiends, gaining insight into fiendish activity in the area. So basically,
The
you
DM
get...
tells you about what the demons are up to.
Yeah, you get a prophetic dream, which gives insight into future dealings with devils and demons and stuff.
You gain the ability to speak Abyssal and Infernal for free, baby.
Yes.
It's just a terribly written rule.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell you
especially
the
in
nature of
D&D
the...
where
Oh, yeah,
crunch
just,
is so
it's up to your
important.
DM, you know.
It's a rule
You
that's
know the
nothing
exact
but
location.
fluff.
Yeah. Then again, Abyssal and Infernal are languages that are almost never used, so here's where... Alright, so what do you get at first level other than these 2 things? You get Expertise, which I think is something the fighter also has, right?
I'm gonna clue.
So-
I only play good systems.
Alright, something like... Basically, you choose 2 skills, you get double. Already, that's pretty goddamn good. You can find demons, so you can cast magic, and you get extra good skills. Here's when you get to the spicy things. Eldritch Strike. When you hit a creature with a weapon, you can expend 1 spell slot to deal radiant or force damage to the target. The extra damage is 1d10 plus your charisma modifier for a first level spell slot. And then
Did
it's
you just
1...
say 1d10 force damage at level 1?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Plus the charisma modifier.
Plus the charisma modifier, because...
Yes.
Yeah! Yeah!
That increases to 2d10 if the target's a fiend.
Yeah. Also, you get 1 extra d10 for every spell slot, with a maximum of 5d10.
So
That is, in all cases, of point.
2d10 radiant damage to a fiend, because why not? Just get in there. What kind of fiends would you be fighting at level 1 anyway? That's what I want to know.
That's a good
That's what
point,
people
actually.
want to know.
At second level, you can see in darkness both magical and non-magical to a distance of 120 feet. And you get advantage on an Arcana check. That's fucking insane, mate! I think only elves can see true non-magical magical fucking darkness.
Hey, I wonder if we should pull out the OC bingo for this.
Oh no.
That's a good point, but let me see. OC bingo. I mean, this is already hot garbage, so might as well get this
With
stuff
other
on.
episode formats, what we're going to do is
Yeah,
some episodes are going to be addressing a
specific.
specific system. Some episodes we're going to be addressing a particular topic or issue relating to RPGs. For instance, sometimes we might just talk about Magic the Gathering as a whole thing, if we feel
Or Warhammer 40k, maybe.
Hella.
maybe. Or their RPGs. All right.
Alright, so let's continue with the artistry, which is a mix of artistry and artist. So, at second level, you you ignore the loading quality of crossbows, which you're proficient at. Also, if you fire a crossbow within 5 feet of a hostile creature, you don't get disadvantage on your range attack loads with either light or hand crossbows. Also, light crossbow. You can get the light quality of any crossbow you're holding at the cost of a bonus action.
All right, let's avoid turning this into a Mikio reads off a wiki page thing. So basically, this man has come in with this OC Donut Steel kind of class,
Yes.
and he's decided, I hate fun. Everything's awful.
Yeah. It's even fucking worse. Like,
not only is it nothing personnel to
Yeah, they
kind of
pretty
edge.
much rips rules wholesale from other classes. And
yeah. For example,
turns
at
them up
5th
a
level,
notch.
he gets an extra attack.
A free attack? Why not?
Yeah. At 7th level, he can metamorphosize into some kind of demon, which is immune to fire damage, has a flying speed of 60 feet, and can hover. Creatures that have sight must succeed a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, or be frightened.
Yep. That's reasonable.
I think
and
the
also-
best part about this whole class is that he deemed it fit enough to publish onto a wiki.
Yes, and
Yeah.
he tried to make me fucking use that.
Oh, John Don, there's some real treasures on D&D Wiki. It and
Yeah.
we've gotten close.
Frankly,
Yes.
frankly, for the D&D wiki, this is fine. Just I have a personal gripe with this motherfucker. Yeah. Now, may I once add, this is not in the wiki, but another problem with this class is that once you use it, you basically put the focus of the whole campaign on the killing of demons.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
Otherwise,
it's a
just a
derailing
weapon.
class.
In
where's the
certain
fear?
systems, so are things like paladins, though.
Of course, if you play a spellcaster, then... Wait, this is a
Yeah.
5e
In
class.
settings like
No!
Pathfinder.
No! No!
What was that, Bones?
I was about to say, if you're playing a spellcaster, then you just the focus of the campaign becomes you being the best. Then I realized this is 5e and everything's garbage.
Yeah, for
Everything's
example,
bad.
yeah. Also, to continue, 14 level, you get blind sense.
Why not?
At 18 level, if you use Eldritch Strike on something, the attack automatically becomes a critical. So that, you know, that's fucking nice. I'm just gonna skip the 20th level thing because it's broken for every class, and it's metamorphosis, but it becomes better.
The portrait for one of the archetypes is fucking Jace, the Planeswalker. Because
God, you're right.
As if we didn't have enough, you know, edge.
Yeah,
Mary
so-
Sue kind of bullshit.
All right, so now we get to the 3 archetypes you can choose. Now, this class is already a hodgepodge of the fighter and the warlock. But
And the
the-
three
the
classes look like one's a straight rogue, one's a straight fighter, one's a straight warlock.
That's pretty much
Yeah,
it. The archetype is just you become that, but you're pretty much better. So let's go. There's 3 ones. There's the Deathblade, the Power Fiend, and the Arcane Devastator. Woo!
Rogue, warrior,
Ooh,
wizard.
that edge hurts.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm just sweating blades here. Woo! So the Deathblade, what do you get? You get favored enemy. So here, steal something from the ranger. Why not? All right. At 3rd level, you can add your charisma modifier to your initiative. Why the fuck not? Get a
Mickey.
better increased initiative.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's this guy's favorite anime?
I would probably
Kill or
say
kill.
SAO.
So, Jesus.
I
Well,
don't know because I
That's
never
awesome.
asked him because I fucking hate the guy and anything I know about him just makes me want to kill. But I would probably say SAO.
I think you may have autism spectrum disorder.
It's pretty rich coming from you, John.
It really isn't.
Now, one thing that I want to keep in mind when he tried to make me use this class, he said, oh, this is totally balanced. If I just multi-class, I get everything of these but better. So this is actually worse option for me. Bitch. No.
It's basically a class that's multi-classing the best classes from level 1.
Yeah. And it gets even worse.
I'm sure I've implied this, but your first mistake was playing 5e. Go
Yeah,
on.
so if you pick the Death Blade at 13 level, you can attack 3 times instead of 2 times. So yeah, the straight rogue is actually just a straight fighter, straight ranger, and some other fucking shit. Yeah, also at 13 level, you can hit critical with a 19 as well as a 20.
Woo! Another extra chance to do insane, crazy bullshit, wacky stuff. What hijinks? What larks?
Yes. So the Power Fiend. So the Power Fiend gets the fighting styles, which I think is something one of the fighters can get. So already you got that going for him. Also, your speed increases by 10 feet, which is pretty good. Your jump distance is doubled. You don't need to move at least 10 feet to foot before jumping. And your speed increases by another 10 feet when you reach 13 level. So the straight fighter actually has a shit ton of mobility.
So, what, he's taking a little bit from... He's just ripping wholesale chunks from Fighter, and then at the last second, just snatch a little bit from Monk. Why not? Just into the mix.
Oh yeah, this...
Speed.
I'm pretty sure this has every single class except the fucking
anyway.
Bard.
It's not good. It's not
yeah.
good.
At
I
third
don't like
level,
it.
at third level, he gets basically an accent surge.
Help. Help me.
Yeah. At 9 level, you get something that actually kind of which is just you can reduce the distance you are pushed by 20 feet if you're pushed. So, you know, that's kind of useless.
You see, the issue is, as much as I want to shit on what's being put forward here, I haven't played enough 5e. I've played enough, probably 3.5, to have an idea of what this all means in those kind of terms. But you know,
well,
what's
frankly,
being
it's
pushed
still
10 feet in 5e. You know,
it's you're just being pushed. It doesn't do a damn fucking thing.
I think the problem with criticizing this class is that it's all bad. There's not like a grain in the middle that's a good idea. Or
Well,
like a
I kind of
solid
like the
design
idea
choice.
of each archetype being wildly different, but it's done so badly here, and it's just such a copy paste.
Yeah, you can tell how much of a tryhard or a win at all cost player he is, even in a role playing game.
Also, the other stuff he gets is just boring, but at 17 level, you simply won't die. If damage reduces you to 0 hit points, you make a con saving throw with a DC equal to half the damage taken. On a success, you drop to 1 hit point instead. It doesn't say if there's any limit to that, so you could, if you're good with rolls, you could just keep being fucking alive.
I think it means that you can't be killed by death of 1,000 cuts, because you know, if something drops you below 0 and it's dealt 4 effective damage, you know, the DC on that's going to be 2. So that's piss easy, because obviously you're focusing on con.
Yeah. So
Just
now
never
you need
die.
to. Yeah. So finally, the Arcane Devastator, which is just which is just the Magic the Gathering dude.
Jace, yeah. Oh baby.
So you get even more spells that you can choose from, including, you know, words that the cleric can use, and things that the sorcerer can use, and things that, even some of the stuff that Bard can use, because let's rip wholesale from every single spellcaster.
It's a grab bag. Just take what you want. Become the strongest. It's all the best spells. They're all here. Just take this class. Take this fucking class, you pleb.
You're already the strongest from level 1. You can suplex the barbarian. Ugh. So, the Arcane Devastator at 3rd level gains an additional spell slot, which I think is just... so you get even more spell slots with this guy.
Oh baby.
Oh, here's one. At 3rd level, whenever you cast Eldritch Blast, which is already the best cantrip in 5e, might I add,
Yep.
You can add your charisma modifier to damage of each beam.
And of course, you can add double that
At 13 level.
And by that point, I'm sure you've got enough magic items to have a nice thick and meaty charisma modifier. So,
Yeah,
that's
personally, I would
reasonable.
just throw every kind of cursed item at this guy. Oh wait,
Oh, wait.
no, he can't.
Eldritch Boon. Take a look at Eldritch Boon, my boy.
Let's see. You can cast the Eldritch Blast cantrip as a bonus action. Whenever
when
you
you
cast
cast it-
Eldritch Blast, the number of beams you can create increases by 2.
So that's essentially doubling and then doubling again the Eldritch Blasts you can use.
And it does more damage.
Yeah.
Nothing personal, kiddo.
So basically 4 blasts per turn. Why not? Why not?
You basically now have Magic Missile, but insanely better.
I'm the most powerful man in the universe, and it's a cantrip, so you're not even like you still got good spells if you need to actually.
Oh yeah.
Be good.
Also at third level, you get the Wizard's spell book basically, because when you get the Book of Shadows, as it's called, you choose 3 cantrips from any class's spell list.
Woo!
And while it's on your person, you can cast those cantrips at will. They don't count against your number of cantrips known.
Of course. Is there any reason not to take this guy at this point?
I don't know. Also, even if you were to lose it or get it stolen, you can just perform a 1-hour ceremony and just get a replacement.
5e make cantrips the only good spells, right? Or some shit. I think they buff them.
I don't know. Cantrips are just they're just 0-level spells you can cast at will.
Yeah, but
Some are good, some are bad.
Let's continue.
Yeah. Also, you can
I
just
can't do it
inscribe. Also, you can inscribe rituals into the book like a wizard can. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
At once again at 3rd level, because you just get everything at once. You lucky boy. Your ranged spells that require attack rolls don't give disadvantage within 5 feet of a hostile creature.
How powerful
Also-
would that be?
Yeah, at 9th level, if you're hidden from a creature when you cast a spell on it, it has disadvantage on the saving throw. Furthermore, when you have advantage on spell attack rolls against creature that hasn't taken a turn into combat yet. Wait, what? This is? Oh my goodness! All right, I think there's a word that is not there. Let's see.
And
Yeah,
if you hit a surprise creature with Eldritch Blast, it is a critical hit.
Yes.
With 4
So-
Eldritch Blasts, so you get 4 crits.
So basically, the Arcane Devastator is just the spammer of the best cantrip there is.
Yes.
Why not put Eldritch Blast as the thing in your Book of Shadows? Just get even more Eldritch Blast bang for your buck. Just cast 20 Eldritch Blasts a fucking turn. Just pew, 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 pew.
What cantrips do you want to inscribe into your book?
All of
Eldritch
them?
Blast, Eldritch Blast, and Eldritch Blast, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know, Mickey, I feel that there's an element missing in this particular conversation, and I think it's our other 2 participants. So,
That's a
Dick
fact.
Book, John, come on, jump in.
Do a
Do you have
thing.
anything to say?
No, not really.
I mean, man, this is fuel for 1,000 goofs. Where are the goofs?
Yeah. What does this guy have? Like
The game?
HIV cancer or something?
Spicy.
Probably not. Okay, I can feel the stagnation setting in. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to
we
the.
lost the thread a little bit.
We're going to move on to a long-running section of the podcast. This has been a fan favorite since the early days, since we started doing this. It's called "Who is the Strongest Skeleton?" So, what's your favorite skeleton in a fictional media?
Well, I'm not
Remember,
gonna say.
I'm real, so you can't say me.
I want to say Skeletor, but only his head is a skeleton.
Yeah, he's just a man with his face melted off. Fucking
Well-
fucking Skeletor. That No, I've an axe to grind about fucking Skeletor. I
He's
tell you
named
what,
a Skeletor,
the man,
but
he had a regular face. Then his face got melted off. His face is just bones, but he's not a skeleton. All right, his body, he's still buff. Just look at it. He's not a skeleton.
Was he called Skeletor before he became a skeleton?
yes.
No,
Really?
what? Yeah, he had. I'm pretty sure he had a proper name, a full name, and everything.
Not
and
all
then
skeletons.
his fucking head got burned off, and then he's like,
Not
"All right,
all
I'm
skeletons.
skeletal now. I'm the most evil man ever made."
Also, but yeah,
his
I
name
will
was
say the
Keldor.
strongest skeleton is clearly Dan
Me.
Fortescue from the medieval games.
Oh, ooh, that's a strong one.
What about that tool from Dead Money from New Vegas? The singer.
That's a fine choice. A fine choice.
Wasn't
I'm
that a
gonna
ghoul?
Ooh,
Ghouls are
are
close
ghouls
to
skeletons?
skeletons. They're skeleton adjacent.
They're more like zombies.
I'm not feeling it.
Or no, like they're more like fucking ghouls.
Yeah, they're ghouls. They're not skeletons. Let's not
They have
get
skeletons.
into fucking skeleton-like creatures. You plebs. There's clearly levels of skeleton. There is skeleton. There is not skeleton. Let's not split hairs. I'm going to put forward Ains Ulgaun from the Overlord series. He's the strongest Lich. He's the strongest Overlord. He's got good friends. He's got plans. He doesn't have plans, but he pretends his plans, and everything works out in his favor. He's the strongest, and the cutest, and the best. And that's all I have to say about that.
When you say Overlord, that series is the one which I actually really like. I forgot there was a skeleton in it.
The main character is a skeleton.
Well, he's a dude in armor.
No.
So there's a skeleton under the armor?
He's only in armor some of the time, Mickey. Most of the time he's in robes, and you can see his spooky skeleton face.
Yeah, but like in the game where you start from childhood, he's a boy, not a skeleton.
Oh no. I'm thinking of this Overlord. This nigga right here.
Oh, the one from the fucking Chinese cartoons. Oh.
No, the one from the Tibetan finger paintings, because it was a light novel before it was an anime. Because all anime comes from light novel these days.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what's the point of light novels. It's just a fucking book with novel with pictures. Well, why?
The point of light novels is to keep the anime industry going, my man. That's
Yeah,
why light novels exist.
I mean, but why? Why do you need pictures? Why do you need pictures in your novel? What's the point of the
you
pictures?
Get a shitty 20-year-old author. You make him fucking slam out 50,000 words in a week. Then you get a famous Pixiv artist.
I'm just going to remind you guys
some
that
cute
this
anime girls
podcast
into it.
is about RPGs.
No, it's not. Nah, I don't believe that. You're telling me lies.
The problem is that it's Mr. Bones that's supposed to use the trumpet to bring us back to the topic.
Oh no! I betrayed the trumpet. I've become what I vowed to fight. It's all
And
over.
we haven't even started the first episode and already this is
You know how
going
hard it is to get a train back on the rails?
There was never a train in the first place.
Come on.
There was a train. This whole project.
Come on.
Oh.
Mr. Bones, come on. I wanna do
There we go. We're back on track now. Tell me about. Tell me
what do you guys think
the
about
games
fucking
that
Starfinder?
Tell me about Starfinder.
Ooh, Starfinder? I'm probably going to buy the core rulebook when it's out.
Oh,
Me
that's
too.
the sci-fi Spelljammer
Yeah,
Pathfinder.
it's Pathfinder in space with a couple mechanical
Well,
changes.
it's still Pathfinder, isn't it?
It's been too long. Well, it's in the Pathfinder universe that classes, but you have traits and characteristics that you can use to customize and fluff these core classes into something more resembling the traditional classes or something completely different.
I see.
Mhm.
So, in other words, they're just going to cram a shitload of bullshit into all these archetypes because,
Also,
Paizo have no
yeah.
They
self-control.
also changed the way some saves work and other random mechanical changes that Paizo claims makes the game feel more futuristic, but I don't necessarily agree with.
What are we talking about for races? What kind of races we got?
Well,
Yeah.
there's
They're all equal.
from what I've heard, there's all the core classes, your dwarves, your elves, but you add space at the beginning of it, which makes them infinitely better. For example, dwarf, and then
In space.
space dwarves. You see, much better.
I can feel my soul leaving my
But
body
it
already.
is down the hole
That
into
just
the
sounds
lab.
like a complete lack of.
A complete lack of imagination. The complete lack
Yeah,
of inspiration.
But let me finish. So there's the core rules, and there's like 10, 12, maybe not that much, but a whole bunch of new races. Also, an interesting mechanic. Almost all of the sort of humanoid enemies contain the necessary ingredients to turn it into a playable race. Meaning a good chunk of the monster manual, which is it probably won't be called that, but who the fuck cares, will be sort of an expanded race thing as well. Now it does sound absolutely
no.
goddamn fucking broken, disgusting, and ready for abuse. So it's a very good sequel to Pathfinder.
So you accuse Paizo of blowing their system, and then they go and they do that. Great job, guys. You're fixing the issues. Boy, what's the combat going to be predicated on? What's replacing magic? Is it going to be Magitech?
There, basically, you see, there's magic, there's melee, I think, and there's guns. But the interesting thing about guns is that one of the main guns class, the soldier, his weapon damage
Can't
and
use
weapons.
guns.
No, his weapon damage scales with his level.
I see.
Also,
Are we
you
talking
can
about like a
also,
bonus level as a bonus, or
yeah, something like that. Also, you can craft and upgrade weapons and technology you already own.
I see. How easy is that? Do you have any specifics on that? Now that
I
that's
don't know.
very
They've
open-ended
been
thing to.
they've been pretty tight-lipped about it, and pretty much anyone that has had a chance to play it has sort of been put under NDA. So we can only get some slight thingies from the 4chans.
The fortunes. All right.
So
Well, that's
it's all still in the air, but it all sounds very interesting. And personally, I'm a big fan of space opera, Glory Hammer, Space 9092 kind of deal. So I'm pretty excited
Hey,
for it.
does anybody find it a coincidence that Starfinder was announced around the time that G-Dubs stopped Fantasy Flight from publishing the 40K systems?
that does make you think. Gap in the market, just moving on. I'm sure they've had this under development for a while. If they're coming out with all this stuff they want to show off.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of capitalism in a thing. There's a gap. It's going to be filled, at least in theory, because capitalism is fucking broken, but that's for another
I want
podcast, I think.
capitalist
Oh
piggies
no!
to get out of my hobby.
I agree, John Bull.
She is the means of reproduction.
And speaking of means and reproduction, and speaking of getting women out of things, I think I'm going to have to get all of you out of this podcast because we are running pretty good on time, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, this has been a little introduction to Fatality this week. We've not really had a particular topic. We've run our mouths about a load of bullshit. We're going to listen back to it. We're going to cringe at it, and then we're going to throw it onto the internet for you disgusting people to listen to. Except for Moon, who I love and cherish. Anyway.
Yeah, so, wait. Before we end, a word from our sponsors. And the sponsor from this week is...
Blacks.com.
I was going to say Dollar Shave Club, but sure, why not?
Oh, no. we're doing ironic shilling. Okay, it's time to get out.
Yeah,
Alright, so,
we don't have any sweet closing phrase, so
wait. From Dick Poop, good night. Say good night, Dick Poop. Dick Poop.
Dicky Poopy.
From John Don, good night.
Good night.
From Mikio, good night.
good afternoon.
And from me, go suck my dick, fuck my ass.
LOL.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.